This is Guns, Knives, and Watches, and this is my go-to pistol, and has been my go-to pistol for over 20 years. It's varied just a little bit based on what's available at the time. Now, this is a Mark II Ruger competition target model. Now, you can do this with a Mark III. It's the same procedure, and you'll also gain a mag release, this, there, or the other, which this one does not have. The mag is more of the older style bottom. I started out a long time ago, way over 20 years. This has been my go-to carry piece. This is, of course, a bull barrel 5.5 inch with Volquartsen kit with Packmeyer grip with thumb ramps. That was kind of important to me at the time, and it still is. But it just gave me a little better, bigger feel in my hand, and that's my go-to without optics. But let's just say my go-to, I want to hit something and I want to basically replace a rifle, and I want to do it with parts that I can get nowadays because that Packmeyer grip's not even made anymore. Well, you can start out with a competition target model Ruger Mark III. Of course, that's going to have the magazine release on the other side, and first thing you're going to do is you're going to tear the guts out of it, and you're going to put a full Volquartsen kit in it. Even if you don't put a full Volquartsen kit in it, my recommendation is, and you know how to do a trigger job, I would still put the Volquartsen trigger in it, and I would put the Volquartsen hammer and bushing in it, because that will get rid of your magazine disconnect. This weapon, of course, is not loaded. You look for something in the chamber, not the absence of something in the chamber. Take it off safety, and this weapon will fire. Of course, it always would have, because this is a Mark II. But if you change that hammer, the bushing, and the trigger over to Volquartsen parts, you buy them individually, you might as well have bought the whole damn kit, because the only thing you're replacing are the sears and a few other little doodads. Now, I would never ever here's the deal. If you're going to choose the springs to put in this weapon, as to whether to put the Volquartsen springs or whether to put the Ruger springs, grab them in your hand, feel them. Like your plunger spring for your trigger, and for your, hammer spring, not your hammer spring, your sear spring. Just feel them, which one's stronger. Go with the stronger one. Why is that? Because we're trying to make this as durable as possible. Now, this is a video that I've done over and over and over again. It's not real popular because, you're building a $1,000 weapon. But it's a very effective weapon. Why do we go with a competition target? Because, we can get a shorter package out of this bull barrel 5.5 inch. Why is that? Because a couple different reasons. We're changing the kit out anyway, the internals of it. But what the competition target model gives us that the other one doesn't is it gives us, one, both these weapons are the same weight without optic, and you get another inch of barrel here. These things are called 22 long rifles. That means that their gunpowder, man, is designed to fire out of a rifle length barrel. So any additional inch in this barrel is going to give you significant increase in muzzle velocity. It's not like shooting a damn a pistol, a short barrel pistol, long barrel pistol. You only get a few feet, this, there, the other, Well, in a 22, it makes a hell of a difference, believe it or not, as far as the knockdown power. Now, this weapon's probably every bullet's going to be supersonic, so it's not going to be quiet. This is not going to be a hush puppy to the people that know what a hush puppy is. But it gives you the knockdown power, and it gives you the distance out there, and it gives you a few other things that this one doesn't, okay? And as I said, they're the same weight. So we have the longer barrel. We have this, there, the other. We put the Volquartsen part in it, and of course we put a Hogue grip on it that has finger grooves, because it just works better. It's more hand filling and gives you a better center of gravity because it pushes your hands just out that little bit more, and you have the finger grooves to give you a little bit more stability. That's great. So we've taken a $550 gun, we've put a $100 kit in it, we've put a $20 grip on it, or whatever the hell these things cost, and then we still haven't figured this shit out yet, have we? Now, since this is a Mark II, and it had this hooky type front sight on it, of course we used to, some people used to file these things off this, there, or the other, but that's passe old shit, man. Nowadays you can just buy you one of them there nice aluminum rampy type things, man. Just bolt it on there, and that gets rid of that hooking action when you're pulling out of your kit when you're doing anything like that. Now everybody's going to know, well, listen here, Guns, Knives, and Watches, you talking about putting that there optic up on top of it. This is an Aimpoint Pro patrol rifle optic. Now that's a full-size Aimpoint with the actual, that there mount that a lot of people are probably going to be familiar with. And then it also has the them there flappy type things, man. And you don't have to use them the way I do them. This is just the way I do it. The reason I use the Pro is because it's very durable and it's very good for what it is. And at $400, is it the lightest thing in the market? No, it is extremely heavy. The only thing you have to do to it is you take the spacer out that's right there, and it lowers it down a little bit and makes it a little bit more compact package. Now, this is not going to be lightweight by any stretch of the imagination. Do I know exactly what it weighs? No, I don't, but I know it functions. I've seen people put aim points up there and stuff like that, and I don't recommend it. The reason I use this particular mount is because you can, number one, can take the spacer out and lower it down a little bit where an Aimpoint has a fixed height, and two, I can easily, if that battery goes out or something, or I need just a little bit smaller option, I can take that off there really quickly, remount it, 3 clicks, we know the deal, okay? And it just works. Now, this is really heavy duty shit, Aimpoint, da-da-da-da-da. Now, could you put just a standard 30mm ring on there and just get rid of all this crap and make it a little bit lower and do all that? Yeah, but I need the ability to remove it just in case. Now, why is that matter? The second thing that we got out of this whole deal, other than a little bit more velocity because of the extra inch, because this is, as I said, a .22 long rifle cartridge, not a pistol cartridge, which means the gunpowder is for rifles, okay? Well, that also gives us sight radius. So that extra long sight radius matters. And of course, this is a Tactical Solutions Picatinny rail that has a rear sight on it. So you're going to have to budget that in also. As I said, this is not a cheap weapon. This is not, a real budget way, even though I probably bought this thing used or I bought it new, back when dinosaurs roamed the earth. To tell you the truth, I don't really know. I think I bought it used, and the upper didn't fit the lower, and all I had to do was do a wacky thing on here where the barrel comes in and to make it fit better, but let's don't go there. So we've got our fully adjustable rear sight. We've got our Picatinny rail full length. Can you leave the sight on there and put a shorter Picatinny rail? Can you do whatever you want to? Could you put do a lot of different things? Yeah. This is what I choose to do. I really like, I would like it a little bit better if it was machined right through here to make that a little bit larger opening, but that's just me for sticking my big ass clunky finger in there, okay? And that's real shit. Because if I'm ever going to have a problem, I'd just really like to be able to click my big clunky finger in there, man. But that's just the point. Does it matter to me? No. Tactical Solutions rail. This is probably a Tactical Solutions front sight. I have no earthly idea. But fully adjustable. Works. Has a really long sight radius, and I can hit shit with it at a good distance. And still, with a 6.5-inch barrel, have enough muzzle, have enough velocity with a 22 round. Now, are these 22 rounds the ones that I would shoot if I was going to actually go out and hit something? No, but they work good for skunks, okay? Because that's just the way it works, dude. You can put whatever you want to on it whenever you're out shooting whatever you want to do. But, you know, let me recap, and I'm going to retort just a little bit. Ruger, this is a Mark II. Of course, you'd probably put a Mark III. Competition target model, 6.5-inch slab side barrel. Of course, with the Mark III, you don't have to change the front sight. I did. You put a Picatinny rail on it. Whether you choose just putting a Picatinny rail that has, you know, 3 attachment points, or whether you go with the full, you know, the full Monty, man, with the sight and everything, you know, that's up to you. Replace the Volquartsen kit. If you got a Mark III, I would really recommend probably putting the entire kit in. Remember to use the stronger springs, whichever you grab in your hand and you think are the stronger springs. Why is that? Because we're making a 4x4 that's to go out into the wilderness, man, and actually function. We're not trying to make a competition rifle. We are making a precision rifle that's actually supposed to function in any situation. Okay, so we put the harder springs on. I'm going to leave that up to you as to which ones are harder. Put the Hogue grip on it. Why the full Volquartsen kit with the Mark III? Because it gets rid of that damn magazine, magazine disconnect, where this thing will not fire if the magazine is not in there. And it's just another thing, man. Any safety with the Mark IIIs, you wind up and you've got that thing over here, man, loading chamber indicator that drags on some bullets sometimes when it's dirty, da 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 da. But in reality, this is my setup, and it works. And that's really, believe it or not, in the end of the day, the point. And I'm doing this on film, and nothing ever works out on film, ever. Why? Because that little damn thing right there doesn't want to grab down on there, boy. And it's just the way it works. You know, it's just the reality of making a film. It's just the reality of fucking camera. It's just the reality of all this shit. When you put your optic on there, make sure that you put it on in the correct location every time. It's snapped down on there now. I use a simple rule. I put it to where there is actually one space between it and the optic. Could I put it back farther? Yes, I could. We go snappy, 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 torqued on there, and of course then we load our weapon, and then we're ready to go back into service. This has been my go-to weapon. This particular one has been for way over 15 years. The only thing I've ever changed out was I wound up and changed the attachment device and the patrol rifle optic whenever they came out with those. The first time they came out with those, of course, they were for law enforcement and military ID only. They are now civilian, something you can buy $400, da 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 da. Can you buy smaller, lighter, better, brighter, da 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 da? Yes, no, whatever. It's whatever works in your environment, whatever works in your lifestyle, and whatever works for you. This is Guns, Knives, and Watches. Have a good one.